what your Marvel Rivals main says about your music playlist. Do you like music? I like music. But what type of music do you like? Thank you, Dr. Seuss, for writing this script. Adam Warlock. If you main Adam Warlock, you more than likely listen to motivational speeches. Yes, that technically counts as music. And if not, then sue me. I'm a rebel, and I do what I want. You also might listen to the Interstellar soundtrack on loop, but hey, I'm not gonna judge you. Black Panther. You either listen to Kendrick Lamar or Phil Collins. There's no in between. Your hate for supports rivals Kendrick's beef with Drake. But when you get those dash resets... Black Widow. Russian hard bass, dark synthwave, or trip hop. I'm very indecisive. You're just trying to chill for the most part, but if you can get that headshot once the beat drops, you'll be in a euphoric state for weeks. Captain America. When you're not listening to the national anthem, you're listening to Fortunate Sons. You make sure to match the beatings you're giving the enemy strategist to the drums of the song you're currently listening to. Oh hey Adam. Couldn't help but notice you're here by yourself. Could I interest you in some freedom, my boy? No, I wasn't asking. Cloak and Dagger. This might be somewhat stereotypical, and if so, congratulations, welcome to the video. Can I take your coat? Speaking of coats, you Cloak and Dagger mains feed off of R&B music and true crime podcasts. Look, I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of addicting. If you listen to one, you gotta listen to about 50. Either that or you have some spy/detective playlists you secretly listen to when nobody's around. Doctor Strange. As a Strange main myself, there's not exactly a genre of music I listen to specifically, but every time I go in for an alt, I always hear... But whenever I don't have my alt, allow me to introduce you to my favorite playlist. I may have issues. Emma Frost. Emma Frost players. Now this is a tough one. Do we think they're listening to some soulful jazz music? Perhaps even some Doja Cat? Maybe even some bad bitch energy playlists? All of these might be true, but what's definitely true is that they're listening to some mommy ASMR. Such as, but not limited to, she bakes you cookies after a long day and gets third-degree burns for holding the tray. Or, beating you with a metal pipe ASMR. Groot. Groot players are chillin', because at the end of the day, you're a tree. And trees are chill like that. You're kind of a vibe, which is why you're listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire or Jackson 5. That being said, Groot mains, may I interest you in a new playlist? Hawk Tour. Linkin Park and Nickelback are your go-to music artists. You're searching for that divorced dad playlist, but since you're not divorced yet, you kinda gotta settle in the middle. But just give it a couple of years. Keep throwing my games. I'm sure she'll leave. Hela. You like some dark and broody stuff, so I'm thinking either Evanescence or Nightwish. Also, you listen to hillbilly banjo music. Now hold up, before you question me, just hear me out. Close your eyes. Now picture Hela with her goth makeup on, emo clothes, whatever. Now picture her listening to banjo music while sitting in traffic. Yeah, that's right, that's every Hela player. Tell me I'm wrong. Hulk. I'm pretty sure Hulk players have a playlist that mixes lo-fi with metal music. Is that a real thing? Damn, I might be a Hulk man, because that kind of slaps. Human Torch. My Chemical Romance and the Backstreet Boys. I don't think I've ever met a Human Torch player who wasn't just vibing. Only time they ever get slightly heated, hey look at that, that's called a pun, is when the enemy team picks Hela, in which case they tend to swap tracks over to Dragon Force, or Panic at the Disco. Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman players gotta be listening to some Taylor Swift or some sort of pop songs, but occasionally the Eagles or the Beastie Boys will come on the radio, and it's sort of like getting hit with a brick of nostalgia. From when their parents would have that song playing in the background as mom made breakfast. Iron Fist. Kung Fu Panda soundtrack on loop. I will not elaborate further. Okay, yes I will. But you know I'm right. You watched too much Power Rangers when you were a kid, and now the idea of flying through the air kicking people can't leave your mind. And I can't blame you. I'd do it too if I could. Iron Man, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, The Weeknd. Okay, maybe not The Weeknd, but I mean, dude, just watch the Iron Man movies. Basically that soundtrack in your head 24/7. Especially when you're going into freaky mode. Jeff players are listening to Baby Shark on repeat. I'm just kidding. We all know that they got King Von blasting in their head every time they go to alt. They've got expedited shipping on these hands, and they're rated E for everyone. Loki. This one's a tough one. But I feel like Loki players listen to a lot of Queen, maybe some David Bowie. But I also feel like Loki players are the type of people who say, oh, you've probably never heard of them whenever you're asked them what their favorite band is. Like, my bad dude, but Spangle isn't exactly raking in platinum albums. Luna Snow, K-pop. I mean, that's kind of a given, let's be real. If Luna was a real person, Luna players would listen to her. But I also feel like Luna mains are the ones constantly finding good songs no one's ever heard of. and are just dying to share them next time they meet up with their group of friends. Magik mains are either listening to Foo Fighters or some random industrial band you've never heard of. They might also just be listening to some heavy equipment ASMR, so it's kind of a mystery. Magik players are, legally speaking, gremlins, and I feel that they revel in the chaos. Magneto. I don't know, man. Magneto players probably just listen to some political podcast or some other boring stuff like that. Wait a minute. Didn't Magneto's wife leave him? And isn't he a father? What did that would mean? Can you take me higher? Magneto players are the divorced dad of Marvel rivals. Mantis. Okay, Mantis players actually listen to Spangle, or some other psychedelic folk music. I don't really know too much about Mantis mains. I never see them in my games, so it's kind of hard to tell what they're into. They kind of scare me. Mr. Fantastic. We both know you're listening to some goofy music. You have They May Be Giants in one ear and The Wiggles in the other. You probably also spend a lot of your free time looking up the goofiest stupid beats on YouTube just to show your friends. Moon Knight. You don't have a favorite band. You just have a wide collection of songs that you enjoy. Throw Spotify on shuffle and you just vibe. You'll be listening to Diana Ross one second and Tech 9 the next. Namor. Namor players listen to the sound of the ocean or other atmospheric sounds. Also, they're probably listening to some sad breakup music because your boy Reed still got the girl. Yeah, we put that on 4, you know what I'm saying? Peni Parker. Remember when Nightcore was a thing? Yeah, those were dark times. Peni players have a rotation of anime theme songs that they blast unapologetically in public. And realistically, who's gonna stop them? I wouldn't go near someone playing music on a boombox, and I don't think you would either. Peni mains have sort of mastered the art of psychological war. Psylocke. I believe Psylocke mains listen to Eurobeat a bit too much, but they can't tell anyone about their love for the genre. They'll put on their lo-fi beats whenever they're out in public, but the second they get in their car, it's initial D time. Rocket. Rocket players are listening to Gorillaz, specifically the song 19-2000. Maybe throw in some Motorhead every once in a while, and that just about sums it up. They've also never purchased any of their music. Who remembers LimeWire? Scarlet Witch. You know the song Girls Just Wanna Have Fun? I feel like y'all listen to that in between some Eastern European folk music. Either that or you just hang with the Hela and Magik players and just listen to some goth emo stuff. Spider-Man. Spider-Man players listen to Blink-182, the Backstreet Boys, or whatever song is currently being overused on TikTok. Not necessarily an issue. I mean, the songs got popular for a reason, but maybe we can work on broadening our musical playlist, and maybe we can broaden that scoreboard, get some kills, you know? Squirrel Girl. I feel like Squirrel Girl mains listen to a lot of Vaporwave, but they also don't pay for Spotify Premium, so they create a game to make songs out of all the ads they get. It's kind of psychopathic, but in a good way. I also feel like they're really into Alvin and the Chipmunks covers. Star-Lord. Yeah, you people are absolutely listening to Fleetwood Mac. Maybe sprinkle in a little 70s rock and you're good to go. You also might dress like Guy Fieri, but you still manage to pull it off, so I guess good for you. Storm. Yeah, there's not really too many Storm players out there, which is unfortunate, cause she is pretty sick. You Storm mains are more than likely listening to some Bob Marley, but occasionally you throw in some synth whenever you're driving on the highway, but other than that, you're just chilling. There needs to be more of you. Punisher. Punisher mains listen to a mix of Disturbed and Rage Against the Machine whenever you're not committing crimes. You tend to listen to a lot of political podcasts and gun tubers, and then just stare blankly out the window for hours on end. But you swear you're mentally sound. The Thing. Y'all listen to some good old blues, maybe even sprinkle in some rock. Get it? Because he's a rock. Found your playlist, by the way. And I know it's yours because it goes from Iron Maiden to Shinedown. Thor. 3 Days Grace, 3 Doors Down, and Sabaton. I will hear nothing else. You got that dad bod going? You're standing in your garage drinking, staring at your truck that'll only start running if you punch it hard enough. And you know what? That's a vibe. The only thing Thor mains can't agree on is what type of beer is best for drinking and driving. Ultron. I'm trying to envision what a sentient toaster would listen to, and the only thing I can come up with is EDM or techno-industrial music. But I also feel like they'll listen to some Spider-Man dying ASMR as a guilty pleasure. Venom. So if we completely ignore Venom by Eminem, I believe Venom mains will listen to Jelly Roll, Meatloaf, and Korn. Not because they particularly enjoy their music, but because they're just that hungry. Their music taste becomes much more aggressive the larger the line at the drive-thru becomes. Winter Soldier. Similar to Jeff players, Bucky mains tend to bounce between Van Halen's Jump and King Von's Armed and Dangerous. They didn't even know who King Von was before Marvel Rivals came out, but they stayed for the memes, and honestly, I can respect that. I'd do it too. Can we talk about how good he can dunk, though? Wolverine. Good afternoon, Wolverine man. I hope you are having the day you deserve. Wolverine players don't actually listen to music. They sit back and enjoy the beautiful sound of the Amber Alert being played due to their recent kidnapping. Suspect is a 3-foot homeless man, and the latest victim is a missing tank. If you have any information, please don't hesitate to call. Their family is very worried, but I digress. Wolverine mains also tend to partake in a bit of industrial ambience, like sleeping under a heavily trafficked overpass ASMR, or the occasional food-eating ASMR. As you can't even make a sandwich since you got no bread, stack no cheddar, you don't go to the gym, so we both know you ain't got the hams either. You bitchless, you are unloved, I hate you, stop touching me.